Okay, so over the past 2 years, I have heavily been in just like real estate and construction and, you know, figuring everything out when it even like comes to real estate. But I don't really find it interesting to like record renovation videos because I feel like every YouTuber does that of just renovating or buying a house for YouTube. So I haven't been doing that. So instead, I want to tell you guys about a story. Something that happened about like 2 years ago when I was first doing real estate. And it has to do about the time that I had to hire about like 7 attorneys and like 2 paralegals and lost a lot of money. So let's talk about it. It was like the year 2020. This is the year, it's still now too. If you try to buy a house in like Los Angeles, there is a very good chance that you're going to get outbid by people who are just cash offers, cash buyers. And it's super easy to take that because there's no inspections, there's no anything, and you can close in like a week if you wanted to. So during this time, I was putting in a couple of offers, and it was like my first house ever, and it was really stressful, and it was months of just putting in offers. And finally, I had gotten an offer accepted for a house that was being rented out to tenants. The tenants were super nice. They did open houses and everything. Went through inspections, went through like the appraisal process. Like they were very accommodating. And when I was talking to like the sellers, said they never had a problem with the tenants. It's been like 7+ years of just renting it out to them. I go, okay, no big deal. We're all set to like purchase the property 30 days. And then in the agreement, we had put that the tenants are going to have a couple more days afterwards in order to like move the stuff out and like find a new spot. So that time went and came and went. Came and went. Something like that. And they never left. We never saw boxes. We never saw moving. We never saw anything. And a couple more days like went by. We're like, okay, there's no communication being involved. The tenants like decided to like block me and the sellers, so like the previous owners, because now I'm like the owner. And I'm like, I think I was 27 at the time. I don't remember. Maybe I was 26. I was like 27. I'm gonna go with 27. I've never done this before. I've never had tenants before. I've never had to go through 7 different attorneys and 2 paralegals. But the sellers finally got a hold of the tenants, right? And the tenants told the sellers that they want $10,000 for the keys. And that they're not going to be paying any more rent. They're going to claim COVID and they're going to just sit there. And it was a bit of a shock to me because it's like, I thought everything was cool. I thought everything was like, we're all good with like the situation. But apparently not. So the previous owner, the sellers, took them to court because we had like everything on paper and files and blah blah that the house was going to be delivered like empty, which was not the case. So they went to court, and during COVID, you could not get a court date for like 2 to 3 months. 2 to 3 months of just sitting there for doing nothing, basically. And they went to court. It was like the day before the court date and the court hearing, and their attorney, the seller's attorney, said, yeah, we can't move on with tomorrow's court hearing because he messed up on like the filing. The attorney messed up on the filing. messed up on some sort of document, messed up on some sort of page or something, so they were going to automatically lose if they went forward with it the next day. And then just walked out on them. Like, that was the last time that the seller heard from the attorney. And now that meant that was like 3 months of just like gone. And the seller was like, I don't know what else to do. I already tried taking them to court. So now it's kind of like laying on like my hands, because like, well, now the property is mine. And, you know, the seller tried. I keep trying to like push on the seller to like fix the problem, but that's not really going to fix the issue regardless. So I go get like my own attorneys. And the amount of attorneys that this took, thinking about it now, is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Every month was a new attorney. Because it was COVID time, the state of California did not allow evictions. Why? It made no sense to me. The whole point was so that you wouldn't like put more people at risk for COVID, but somehow that had to deal with like evictions. I'm not going to question it. So the state of California put a lockdown to where nobody can be evicted, and the city of Los Angeles was even worse, where they had even more regulations and everything protecting people and tenants from their homes, because now people didn't have jobs. Now people didn't have jobs from COVID, and so now they're like falling behind on their rent, and instead of being able to evict when you haven't paid for months, all homeowners just had to like suck it up and be like, oh well. And state of California and Los Angeles specifically never really did anything to help. But okay, that was a couple years now, right? So I had to go to court, and with all these regulations and all these things, it was so difficult to find an attorney that was actually able to do anything about it, because the rules and the laws were literally changing every couple of weeks. Like every couple of weeks, attorneys could not like keep up with all the new info. And finally, like a couple months had gone by, and the tenants were finally like reached back out to me, because obviously I'm over here trying to like talk to them, figure out like a solution, figure out something, and the only thing they wanted from me was $10,000. $10,000 to move out. And I had just dumped all my money in the house. So regardless, I don't have the money. I don't have the money to just go, oh sure, no problem. Here's the 10 grand. I'm just gonna happily give that over to you so that I can have my house. And a couple months, so obviously that didn't work, right? So a couple months go by, and I finally found an attorney. I was so fed up with attorneys at this point. I had finally found an attorney who knew their attorney, like had like a bunch of cases with their attorney. It was a guy. With the attorney was a guy with him like in the past, and that like, so my attorney knew like exactly like the playing field, or like what like cards he was going to pull out type of thing. So that gave me a little bit more hope, and I was like, okay, you got me. I got you, you got me. And it ended up working out. So I think like if you take any tip out of this like video, find an attorney who has worked with the attorney that you are fighting with, because they'll know like the history of that attorney. How you can find them, my guess would be like court records somehow. yeah. Anyways, so at this point, it's been like a year, over a year. It has been over a year of zero rent payments, zero progress, zero anything. It had been over a year, and I finally have like the court date to go to court with their attorney and my attorney, and we get to the court date. Oh, actually, it's been like a year and 3 months. It was like a year and 3 months. We finally get to the court date, and I still had to pay the 10 grand. That was the only. Well, it was like 7 grand to the tenants, and then like 3 grand to like attorneys and stuff. So I don't know, but I still had to basically pay $10,000 to legally get access to my house, because I know if you like go on to other like videos and stuff, people are in the comments are gonna be like, oh, this would have never happened in like Texas, this would have never happened over here, just like locked the exchange the locks, blah blah blah. I went the legal route. Okay, I don't know what I was doing, I don't know what was happening, I just went the legal route. So yeah, that was the time I had to hire like 7 attorneys, 2 paralegals. All attorneys were failing. It was the time during like COVID and lockdowns. Lost 10 grand to the tenants, and I don't even know how much I lost in like renting it out, or in like all those payments that I was doing to the house when I couldn't even like use the house. It was a lot of money. There's a lot of money lost, and it was super stressful at that time. Thinking about it now, right now, in the making of this video, it's not that stressful. Like, okay, it happened. Every person who's ever like in real estate, you're always gonna hear like some sort of horror story. Every person in real estate is gonna have like an uncle who had to evict, or a cousin who has terrible maintenance issues. You know, there's always gonna be horror stories in real estate. I just didn't think my horror story would begin like on the first property type of thing, on like day one, here you go. I thought maybe it would take 4 to 5 properties, maybe 3 properties, until you start hitting like the major hiccups that you've never seen or experienced before in your entire life. Because if you look up like for anyone who wants to like be a real estate investor and like do landlording stuff and blah blah blah, if you look up rules, evictions should take anywhere between like 3 to 6 months. And Google makes it look not scary at all. Like, oh, okay, 3 to 6 months. Could work something out there. But I don't know if that's just a flat out lie and evictions take years, or if it was just my timing with COVID and that's why it took so long. I don't know. But I hope you enjoyed the story. I hope you took something away from it, because I know I took something away from it. I know that I have learned stuff, I swear. I know that I would not buy a house with a tenant in it again. Like, even if like everything's super cordial, everything's on paper, everything's like amazing, I would much rather just have the homeowner living there, you know, right there, and then I probably would not sign over the closed documents until the house is like empty. But yeah, that's not the easiest thing to say, you know. I always hate when like people give advice. I always hate when people give advice because like it's so super easy to say like, okay, I am only going to buy a house that has a homeowner living in it. Now think about the fact that you're on a budget. You have a budget of let's say 400,000. Under your budget, one house a month appears. One house a month. And to that one house a month, there are 30 offers on the first day. And all you want to do is just get into the real estate game, get into your own property, get into your new life, per se. And to then have to jump through like all these hoops and things for you to get that life, it's not as easy as like said and done. To be like, oh yeah, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do that. That is great for when people have options. That is great for when people have buttloads of money. That is great when, oh, that property didn't work out last week. Okay, not a problem. Another property is going to pop up tomorrow because my budget is so flexible and I can wait for exactly what I want. I don't think people necessarily have all those luxuries. So it's easy to take away now of like what I would not do. But so if you're in the position to where you can take those things of what not to do, I say don't do those things. But yeah, I think that's it. I hope you guys like the story, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.